Hello and welcome to the cadence creation video. We'll be going over how to create sales cadences here in Salesforce, leveraging Canon Connect's functionality. So to begin, we're going to start off with what we're trying to build and where you could find additional information on this. So coming over to our diagram, we're going to be building what we're calling the low-touch email-led lead sequence, and this whole sequence is about trying to have that first interaction with a prospect that you've never talked to before. And we started off with an email where we then try to gauge their engagement with it. And from there, then we made connect on LinkedIn, reply to the email, make some calls, and reach out over LinkedIn with a message. So there are certain steps to this that are all these tasks end up being automated, and they are set up to, or the task creation is automated. They'll be applied to leads, and then from there, certain steps, the actual engagement part, a rep will come in and go to LinkedIn, reach out. The emails themselves can be batched up into a campaign to actually send to many people at once. And there's some other steps to this as well, but we'll be focusing on specifically what it looks like to build out something like this. Now, some of the resources where you could find some information is right in case you're wondering what is a sales cadence, why you would want one, then you should head over to the blog where we address some of those specifically. Alrighty, so heading back into Salesforce, we're going to actually get started. We're going to head over to the app launcher, and then we'll start to type in cadence where we could find the Canon Cadence Manager. From here, I currently have some cadences already created, and so we're going to start off with what we need now, or building from scratch. The cadence templates, that is the start of everything. So with these, you'll want to name it what seems applicable. So for us, I'm going to actually grab this because we want to name this the low touch email led lead sequence. From here, we could actually start to choose some of these other ones. Now, I want to create task templates because these are going to be the steps that the rep needs to take to actually move the deal forward. So I'll create a new task template list, and tasks will be all the little pieces that create those tasks to actually go and make outreach. So right here, we'll go with, I'm going to actually keep the name and just add in task list at the end. I'll save that. And if I wanted to actually automate some of the emails, we could add that to the template list. Currently, we're not going to be leveraging that because we're sending out our emails through a mass marketing, and then we just reply to those existing emails. So from here, we also have the option to automatically move them into a new cadence. And that would be if this cadence comes to a complete end and we did not get any of the results, such as we were to say, we ended up down, we ended up right here. So every step we've gone through, every single step, we could just move them immediately to a long-term nurture. Since we don't have that created, we're not going to actually do that right now. So we're just going to save, we're going to focus on just this one cadence. So from here, now that I've created this, I'm going to head over to the task template list where we're going to actually start to choose some of the tasks that we need to create. Doing that, we'll come over here to task templates, choose new, and this becomes the bread and butter of what we want to get accomplished. I'm going to put up our screen side by side, so that then we could see what we need to accomplish and create those as we go. So now we have these task template names that we can leverage. And right here, I'm just going to go send an email just as the general name. And I'll also actually use that send first email as our subject. So this will show up when we actually go into, we'll even open one up just to see what we're kind of looking at. The subject will relate to this subject that'll actually end up being on the task. And the description just gives us any kind of information. So personalize the first paragraph to this lead. So that just tells the rep what they need to accomplish as part of this task. And then when we set this, we have our days until due. And right here, this just says to us how many days, when this cadence is created, when should this task also be created? So, or when should it be due? So for this one, right off the bat, this is what kicks off our sales process. So we want this task to immediately be due. So we're going to save that. And then from here, one of our next steps is to say that in here, we have quite a few different decision trees that can occur, but our focus is to act as if we're building out the cadence that things just keep moving forward and we aren't getting some of these other side results. These extra results are things that we would address if we saw that, hey, we sent the email, they unsubscribed. All right, then we want to put in some automation that's going to say remove them from the cadence, and or that will do that automatically. And we don't even have to come in and touch this lead anymore. It'll disqualify them. They're gone from the pipeline. The clicked, we should put in an automation that comes and says to go and connect with them on LinkedIn, and then also moves them over to the high touch sequence automatically. If they bounce, we're going to want to create, again, automation that comes in and says search on LinkedIn. So we'll be continuing as if this is the structure that we need to follow. So from here, I want to connect on LinkedIn. So here we're going to just connect, no message. Put it out 2 days. And bam. Now from here, cloning these out really is that simple. So we can just come through, reply to email, apply to the originally crafted email. And here what we're trying to accomplish is we don't even want to have like a huge touch. We're not trying to personalize. We just want a quick, hey, here it is. Did you see this message? And for this one, nice and easy, we could do it again. Clone for one more. Now we're going to do the call. And boom. Now we'll do a LinkedIn message. And finally, we'll finish this off with our last call. now from here, that is actually set up our entire task list. So if we look through, you can see all these tasks are now generated. So when we apply this cadence and create one on a lead, then what'll happen is it'll kick off in the background and actually set all those tasks when they are ready to occur. So by saving, I've added that to Philippa, and I'm also going to remove her old cadence because this one no longer applies. I'll set it to canceled. But the focus here is that later on, in a few minutes, this will kick off. She'll have tasks, and now I'll have stuff that I'll need to follow up with her on. Now, one of the other things that we can do, coming back into this, there's a long-term nurture sequence that we want to create. So I'll choose new cadence template, long-term nurture lead sequence. Actually, I'll even leave out sequence since we know that that's what it's for. So knowing this, bam, we can move into this next one, which then I'll want to create the task list, and for that I'll also want to create a diagram to go along so I know what are these steps that occur. So for now I'm going to cancel and not do that because our team is still crafting that portion, but I hope that this gives you the general idea of at least getting your task set up. And you could do pretty much the same thing with adding text and adding emails. So where the difference with emails, if we go and take a look at this one, the engaging lead template, is that with emails, when you create these ones, you'll need to specify the email template to send, and that comes from the ID of all the emails that you end up creating. And those can come right from in Salesforce through here. So I can create these email templates and leverage them to actually send to prospects. Heading back to this one, also has a text template list. And with text templates, this is just creating those, setting up all the messages that you want to send that will send out a text to that person's phone. So generally for any of our prospects, we do not text people because you'll want them to opt into text of some sort through some form, and you generally will want to leverage this for actual customers who again have opted in and are okay with this and have some kind of use case for it. But just know that it is all there, and it is all built the exact same way as creating the task template list as well. So hope you enjoyed, and thank you for joining me in this cadence creation video.